Welcome to this video on the fundamentals of chess, including the concept of check and checkmate. Chess is one of the oldest and most popular board games. It is played by two opponents on a checkerboard with 64 squares arranged in 8 vertical rows, called files, and 8 horizontal rows, called ranks. We will cover 7 steps for chess, starting with setting up the board and learning how the pieces move. Then, we will discover special rules, learn who moves first, and review the rules on how to win. Finally, we will study basic strategies and encourage practicing the game. The chessboard has 64 squares in 8 vertical files and 8 horizontal ranks. These squares alternate between 2 colors. The board is set so that each player has a light-colored square in their right-hand corner. Step 1 is about setting up the chessboard. Ensure a white square is in the bottom right. Pieces are arranged the same way each time, with pawns in the second row, followed by rooks, knights, bishops, the queen on her matching color, and the king on the remaining square. This image illustrates the correct and incorrect setup for the chessboard, based on the white square position in the bottom right. The proper setup is crucial for starting a game of chess. Step 2 covers how the 6 different kinds of pieces move. Pieces cannot move through others, except the knight, and cannot land on a square with their own pieces. They capture opponents' pieces, defend their own, or control key squares. The king is the most important but weakest piece, moving only one square in any direction, up, down, to the sides, and diagonally. The queen is the most powerful piece, moving as far as possible in any one straight direction, forward, backward, sideways, or diagonally, without moving through her own pieces. The rook moves as far as it wants, but only forward, backward, and to the sides. Rooks are powerful pieces, especially when protecting each other. The bishop moves as far as it wants, but only diagonally. Each bishop stays on its starting color, and they work well together, covering each other's weaknesses. Knights move very differently, going 2 squares in one direction and then one more move at a 90-degree angle, like an L shape. They are the only pieces that can move over other pieces. Pawns are unusual. They move forward, but capture diagonally. They move 1 square at a time, except for their first move, where they can move 2 squares. They cannot move or capture backward. Step 3 introduces the special rules of chess. These rules might not seem logical at first, but they were created to make the game more fun and interesting. One special ability of pawns is promotion. If a pawn reaches the other side of the board, it can become any other piece except a king or pawn. It is usually promoted to a queen. The last special rule for pawns is called en passant, which is French for in passing. If a pawn moves 2 squares on its first move and lands next to an opponent's pawn, the opponent can capture it as it passes by. The en passant move must be done immediately after the first pawn has moved past, or the option to capture is lost. This rule adds a strategic element to pawn movements. Castling is another special rule, allowing the king to move 2 squares over to one side, and the rook to move to the square next to the king on the opposite side. This aims to get the king to safety and the rook into the game. For castling, it must be the king's and rook's first move. There can be no pieces between them, and the king cannot be in or pass through check. Kingside castling is closer to the board side, while queenside is through where the queen was. Step 4. The player with the white pieces always moves first. Players usually decide who is white by chance. White's first move gives a tiny advantage to attack immediately. Step 5. Reviewing how to win. The game's objective is to checkmate the opponent's king, meaning the king is in check and cannot escape. Checkmate ends the game. A king can escape check by moving out of the way, blocking the check with another piece, or capturing the threatening piece. If none of these options are available, it is checkmate. Games can end in a draw in 5 ways: stalemate, agreement, insufficient material for checkmate, same position repeated 3 times, or 50 consecutive moves without a pawn move or capture. Step 6. Basic chess strategies include protecting your king, not giving pieces away, controlling the center of the board, and using all of your pieces. Remember the relative value of pieces when making decisions. To control the center of the board, use your pieces and pawns to gain space and limit your opponent's movement. In the example, white effectively controls the center, while black does not. Step 7. The most important way to improve is to practice. Play lots of games, whether with friends or online, to apply these rules and strategies and get better at chess.